My girlfriend was chuckling during a phone conversation, saying he's going to pop the question on Valentine's Day, and I'll turn him down, then stick him with the check. My breathing halted for a second. Still, I arrived exactly on schedule. I sat opposite her and set a small folded paper on the table. That evening, her closest friend kept ringing me, attempting to share something. I'm 28, employed in software engineering, and until 3 weeks earlier, I believed my life was settled. I had been with Natasha for 2 years. We connected at a common friend's wedding, bonded over awful DJ selections and costly drinks, and somehow built something meaningful. Or at least that's what I believed. Natasha had a presence that drew eyes effortlessly. Quick humor, dark hair always flawlessly arranged, and an assurance that could dominate any space. She handled marketing projects, journeyed often for assignments, and possessed a talent for making you sense you were the center of her attention when she focused on you. Until you noticed she directed that same look at nearly everyone. The warning signs emerged around Christmas, minor details. She would glance at her phone nonstop over meals, chuckle at texts she refused to reveal, and abruptly cancel outings, blaming sudden work crises that never seemed legitimate. I overlooked it. Convinced myself I was overthinking, that couples experience rough patches, that her career was intense. I recall one evening in early January when we had planned dinner at my apartment. I had devoted 2 hours preparing her preferred pasta from scratch. She messaged at 7 saying she'd be delayed, then at 8, and again at 9:30, claiming exhaustion and deciding to return home instead. I dined by myself, saved the remains, and assured myself it was acceptable. Her job was pressuring her. She required some distance. In hindsight, I was inventing justifications for someone who had already emotionally withdrawn. Then February 10th arrived. I was working remotely, computer on the kitchen counter, when I caught her voice floating from the bedroom. She was speaking on the phone, likely unaware I had returned indoors after discarding the garbage. Her door stood slightly open. Valentine's Day, right? He's been dropping hints about it for weeks. I know precisely what's about to happen. Her laughter sounded airy, almost melodic. I'm going to allow him to arrange the entire romantic meal setup. Wait until he brings out the ring and then simply no. God, picture his expression. I stood frozen in the corridor, shopping bag still clutched in my hands. The highlight. He'll be too ashamed to cause any fuss, so he'll just cover the cost and depart. I'm considering that new French restaurant downtown, the one offering the tasting selection. Might as well end things dramatically, correct? I've already got my sights on another person anyway. My fingers rested on the door frame. I should have stepped inside and faced her immediately. Instead, I remained there foolishly, hearing her outline my public embarrassment as if it were a business plan. No, I'm not acting harshly. I'm being realistic. The relationship has run its duration. He's decent but dull, too foreseeable. And truthfully, I deserve more. The phrases struck like solid impacts. Dull, foreseeable, deserve more. I retreated quietly, placed the bags on the counter without noise, snatched my keys and exited. Drove aimlessly for 2 hours, stopped near the water, gazed at emptiness. My phone vibrated repeatedly. Natasha phoning, likely puzzled about my absence. I ignored it. When I eventually returned home that night, she was sleeping. I lay awake beside her, eyes fixed on the ceiling, replaying every sentence. One side of me desired to rouse her and seek clarification. Another side wanted to gather my belongings and vanish. Instead, I remained motionless, just rested there in the darkness, sensing like an outsider in my own partnership. That night, sleep evaded me almost entirely. A portion of me hoped I had misheard or misinterpreted, but her statements continued looping. Wait until he brings out the ring, she was aware. She had anticipated a proposal, intending to use it as a weapon. The reality was I had considered proposing, not necessarily on Valentine's Day, but in the near future. I had examined rings, envisioned the occasion, pictured a shared life ahead. My mother had even presented me with her own mother's engagement band, a modest gold circle with a tiny diamond. I had kept it in my vehicle for 2 weeks, awaiting the perfect opportunity. Now all I could picture was her giggling with the person on that call, transforming what should have been private into amusement. By dawn, I had chosen my path. I attended work as usual, returned home as usual. Natasha sat in the living area, browsing her phone, partially viewing some reality program. Hey, where did you vanish to yesterday? She inquired without lifting her gaze, just required some fresh air. Job-related matters. Listen, Valentine's Day, that new French spot Le Bernardin, I booked a table, 8 o'clock. Put on the navy suit. I smiled. Sounds ideal. She eventually looked up, an emotion crossing her features. Doubt, contentment. Difficult to say. You all right? You appear different. I'm excellent, I replied, truly looking forward to Friday. The following days felt dreamlike. I performed the routines, kissed her farewell when she departed for her job, replied to her messages with suitable eagerness. She had no clue I was informed. A part of me sensed I was unraveling, acting normal while preparing my response. On Wednesday, she inquired if I felt anxious about Friday. Why would I feel anxious? She grinned, that aware small grin that twisted my insides. No reason, it just appears like an important evening. It will be, I answered. I contacted her closest friend Lauren on Thursday evening. Lauren and I had always connected well. She was direct, faithful, and had once mentioned I was the first solid partner Natasha had been with in ages. I needed confirmation if she participated. Hey, quick inquiry. Do you know Natasha's intentions for tomorrow? Extended silence. What do you mean? Simply, has she brought up anything regarding us? Another silence, even longer. I believe you should discuss it with her personally. Lauren, I overheard a discussion. I know she anticipates me proposing so she can refuse and force me to cover an costly meal. I need to know if you were aware. Quiet. Then softly I advised her it was a horrible plan. She refused to hear it. She mentioned you had become overly committed, and she sought an exit but didn't want to appear at fault. She figured if you proposed and she declined, you'd seem like the one rushing things. I'm sorry, it's all right. Appreciate your honesty. What's your plan? I'll attend, I stated, precisely on time. She's going to be stunned. Good, Friday came. I dressed in the navy suit she had specified. I examined myself in the reflection and scarcely identified the individual looking back. 2 years of my existence condensed into this. Yet I felt oddly composed, determined. I phoned the restaurant beforehand and coordinated with the host, describing the circumstances. He proved quite sympathetic, noting he had witnessed similar situations. Then I drove to Le Bernardin, parked, and entered at exactly 8 o'clock. Natasha had already arrived, positioned at a secluded table, soft lighting gleaming on her wine glass. She appeared gorgeous. Red gown, hair pinned elegantly, that self-assured smile that once quickened my pulse. Now it merely exhausted me. I took the seat across from her. You look lovely, I remarked. You as well. Attractive, I mean, she chuckled, sipped her wine. This venue is wonderful. I'm thrilled we're here. The server neared. I requested water. Natasha asked for more wine and began reviewing the tasting selection, describing her picks with dramatic excitement. Duck preparation, pan-seared scallops, some sweet course with decorative gold flakes. This is going to be fantastic, she declared, eyes sparkling. Such a meaningful evening. Midway through her description, I reached into my coat pocket and withdrew a small folded message, setting it on the table between us. She paused abruptly. What's that? Something I wanted you to receive tonight. Her eyes sparkled. This was the instant she had anticipated. She extended her hand for the message, opening it gradually, prolonging the moment. I observed her expression shift as she scanned it. The message read, I overheard your phone discussion on February 10th. Every single word. I know your scheme for tonight. I'm not proposing. I'm not covering costs. Your dinner is your responsibility. We're finished. Enjoy the duck. The color faded from her cheeks. Her fingers began trembling. Wait, what? You heard me. Yes, that was. You don't get it. I was kidding with. Don't. I rose, straightened my jacket. You made your feelings obvious. I'm merely sparing us both the discomfort you eagerly anticipated. Please remain seated. Allow me to clarify. There's nothing left to clarify. I hope the tasting selection proves worthwhile. Her tone increased, urgency slipping in. You're actually going to abandon me here. Because of a silly phone talk. A silly phone talk where you arranged to embarrass me for amusement. Yes, I am. Patrons at surrounding tables began paying attention. The server lingered hesitantly nearby. You're causing attention, she whispered sharply. No, I replied, I'm departing. You're the one who arranged the attention. Enjoy the performance. I exited. Never glanced backward. My hands trembled, energy surging through me, but I continued until I reached my vehicle. Sat inside briefly, clutching the wheel, anticipating remorse or hesitation to arrive. It never did. My phone erupted before I even exited the lot. Natasha phoning, messaging, then phoning once more. I blocked her contact. Lauren rang around 10 that evening. She's falling apart, Lauren reported. Phoned me in tears, claiming you embarrassed her, that she didn't intend it, that she was merely complaining to a friend. She organized everything, Lauren. Including forcing me to pay. I know I'm not supporting her. I just wanted to see how you're doing. Are you all right? Truthfully. Yeah, I believe so. Good. For whatever it's worth, you managed that more effectively than most would. She's informing everyone you exaggerated, but I'm correcting the narrative. Several of us anticipated this. Thanks, Lauren. She doesn't deserve you. She never did. I passed the remaining weekend disregarding the wave of messages from shared acquaintances. Apparently Natasha had crafted a tale about me deserting her at the meal over a miscommunication. Some accepted it. Most did not, particularly after Lauren discreetly clarified the truth. By Monday, Natasha appeared at my residence. I observed through the viewer as she knocked, paused, knocked once more. She appeared altered. No cosmetics, casual pants, hair pulled back, exposed. A part of me nearly unlocked the entrance. Eventually, she slid a handwritten note beneath the door. I read it once. It was partial regret, partial defense, completely self-focused. She asserted she had been examining me, that she needed to test if I would battle for her, that her friend had prompted the entire matter as humor. She claimed she cared for me, that she had erred, that partnerships are complex, and individuals utter things they don't intend. None of it felt genuine. Not one sentence acknowledged that she had already advanced, already prepared another option. I discarded the note. A week afterward, I encountered one of her colleagues at a cafe. Amy, someone I had met occasionally at office gatherings. She drew me aside, regretful. I'm unsure if you're aware, but Natasha has been involved with another person since January. A man from her yoga sessions, Trevor. The whole office knew except you. I'm sorry. I considered mentioning it, but it seemed like crossing boundaries. That clarified the someone else reference from the phone discussion. It also verified my suspicions. The refusal wasn't about me being dull or foreseeable. It concerned her needing a departure route that positioned her as the injured party. Thanks for informing me. I said, for whatever it's worth, we all believed you were wonderful. She spoke of you like you were, I don't know, useful. It always seemed strange. Useful. That term lingered with me for days. Update 2. 3 weeks following Valentine's Day, Lauren messaged me. Thought you should know. Natasha and Trevor ended things. Apparently he was involved with another person as well. Fate works strangely sometimes. She's been inquiring about you, curious if you might speak. I didn't reply. Lauren followed up an hour afterward. I informed her you had advanced. Hope that's fine, more than fine, I responded. A month later, I spotted her at a supermarket. She stood in the vegetable area, appearing weary, hair in a casual knot, no cosmetics. She noticed me, stiffened, then swiftly looked elsewhere. I selected my apples and departed. A part of me anticipated some emotion. Rage, fulfillment, perhaps sympathy. Instead, I sensed nothing. She was merely another individual in a supermarket. Someone from my past. I won't claim the entire episode didn't affect me for some time. I wondered if I had exaggerated, if I should have allowed her to clarify face to face. But whenever uncertainty arose, I recalled her voice on that call. The effortless harshness, the anticipation of humiliating me. Certain individuals don't merit clarification. Certain individuals deserve precisely the treatment they deliver to others. I'm improving now. Began consulting a counselor, re-established bonds with companions I had overlooked during the partnership, even attended a few outings. Nothing committed yet, but I'm not hurrying. For the first time in years, I'm genuinely appreciating solitude, discovering myself beyond another person's standards. My mother inquired about the ring. I shared what occurred. She offered few words, simply embraced me and stated, "You'll meet someone who merits it." And each year on February 14th, I treat myself to a meal, somewhere upscale. Select precisely what appeals to me, cover my own expenses. Last year I visited a steak restaurant, ordered the ribeye medium rare accompanied by truffle fries, enjoyed a glass of premium scotch. Sat at the counter and chatted with the bartender about ordinary topics. It's remarkably liberating. This year I'm considering Italian. Perhaps that pasta I prepared the night Natasha failed to appear, but this time I'll truly savor it.